really do need to bring this home. The lady to my left, your right, was directly affected by the raid on Oakland. Richard's school used to donate our student garden to Yvonne, and she is a multiple sclerosis patient. She doesn't have a way to necessarily go out and get a job and earn a living, and she depended on our student garden for her medicine. And I'd like her to tell you her story herself. Please welcome Yvonne Westbrook-White.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can talk really loud.
Yeah, go loud.
Okay, I'll go loud. I have multiple sclerosis, and I've been smoking cannabis for many years. It has helped me live a somewhat normal life. If I take the pharmaceuticals that my doctors prescribe, I don't feel like getting out of bed. I can get out of bed and have a couple of tokes, and I feel like doing something today. I wouldn't have made it down here today if I didn't have cannabis. When the feds came in and stole the medication, that was mine that they took. So I've been having the most difficult time keeping my medication out. And I appeal to our president to please keep your promise and leave the patients alone. This is not a drug, it's a medicine, and it's a medicine that is greatly needed by a lot of people. It solves so many more problems than the pharmaceuticals do. So please, President Obama, show some compassion and understand that we as patients need this cannabis in order to maintain a good lifestyle. Thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne. And we talk about the children. What about the children? Well, let's talk about a child that's directly impacted by this crackdown. I'd like to next introduce you. I'm getting upset just thinking about what you're going to say. Jason and Jaden, his son. Please welcome Jason David.
My name is Jason David, Jasondavid. My son Jaden David, Jayden, has Dravet syndrome. One more time, Dravet syndrome is spelled D-R-A-V-E-T. Okay? My son has one of the most rare, catastrophic, life-threatening epilepsies out there. And I have a question for Mr. Obama. You have two beautiful daughters, and I want to answer this time. I need an answer. Harborside, the medical marijuana facility that takes care of my son's needs, you guys are trying to shut it down. What am I going to do after that? Am I going to go to the street where they don't test it? Because it's not normal marijuana that we're just smoking and doing anything like that. It comes to real science. We use a CBD tincture, this non-psychoactive. It saved my son's life. My son used to have a seizure every single day of his life. He's had 300 to 500 myoclonic seizures a day. He's taken 300 shots of Valium. If it was your daughters, Mr. Obama, what would you do? That's what I want to know. Please help me save my son. Help out the medical marijuana community. Everything you said before the election turned out to be a lie. I want to know the truth. I want an answer. Because what are we going to do to help my son out? He's been in the ambulance 45 times. Since I gave him medical marijuana, he hasn't been in the ambulance once. Try not to get emotional, because it does get emotional when you see your son suffer every single day. If you guys check out the new Weed War Chronicles video we did this weekend and see what the difference of my son is, you'll see a shock. I got him down from 22 pills a day down to 4. He's functioning, he's running, he's happy, he's playing, he's not suffering all day, crying, screaming at the top of his lungs because of withdrawals from the medications or the side effects or the ODing, you know. His life has changed. I have a son, I'm getting him back, and we're almost there. I took him to church this Sunday. Everyone was coming up to me in shock, in awe. Wow, you're right. God did give us this plan. Look what's happening. Your son, it's a miracle. His eyes are open. He's walking. He's not falling at church. He's not having a seizure all day at church. You're not running him out to church to go to the car because he's about to have a seizure. You're not pumping him full of meds. 22 pills a day. I used to wake up every single morning, run downstairs, shove 10 pills in his mouth fast as possible before he can go into a seizure, try to keep him occupied so he doesn't go into one. Wait about an hour and a half till they kick in, and then he's lethargic and he's just stuck like that. Now look at him now. He's sitting there when I tell him, come give me a kiss, he'll come give me a kiss. Everyone that walks in the door to my house, he runs up to him, gives them hugs and kisses. He loves everyone. He's becoming a human being. He's not a zombie anymore. He's human. So my question to you, Mr. Obama, please, if your daughters had the same epilepsy as my son did, look it up. Tell me, what would you do? Would you be fighting for this cause and to keep Harborside open? Because they're the only ones that know what's going on. Please, we do the testing there, and what do I do? Go to the corner and ask a drug dealer, hey, do you have CBD? Because I'm sure they don't know what that is, because they don't know what science is. We get it tested for chemicals, other chemical properties, not just that, the ratios. It's all about the science. This is a plant. One more time, I want to mention, this is a plant, not chemicals. You know, the funny thing is, we're doing raids on places like this. One time I went to, this is a true story, I went to Walgreens to pick up my son's pharmaceutical drugs. When I was picking it up, some guy came up to me, ran up to me. He was like, hey, oh my gosh, what do you have in the bag? What do you have in the bag? I said, I have my son's anti-epileptic drugs. Why? What's going on? He said, I need Norco right now. I need Norco. I need Vicodin. I need something. The Walgreens won't give it to me because it's not after midnight. I can't fill my prescription. I need it right now. That's who you guys need to go after, the real drugs. 106,000 people die a year from pharmaceutical drugs. In the last 2,000 years, there's never been one recorded death from marijuana. So please, you're going after the wrong drug experts. Don't forget, Mr. Obama, I want an answer.
And that sums up why we're here today. We're gathered to address the multi-pronged federal crackdown on small tax-paying businesses who are providers of medical marijuana to patients like these. Federal resources are wasted on a failed policy while these cities, our leaders, are begging for help with gun violence. So I stand with these patients and with the victims of violent crime today. As a mother, I demand that our Justice Department shift its priority, start going after these gun violence, child predators, human traffickers, crimes against others. Cannabis will continue to be bought and sold. This will not change. What will change is whether or not it's tested and who profits. Violent gangs don't pay taxes. They don't care whether or not your kids are educated or how old they are when they sell them something, nor do they care what is sold. Shutting down these dispensaries, including the largest ones, will take resources and tax dollars from schools and law enforcement. And frankly, with 25% unemployment, continuing the drug war and enforcing these Jim Crow laws on communities of color are not helping the current economic development situation. 108 jobs put out of work a couple months ago, and almost all of them are now on food stamps and government care. People that were paying taxes in are now having to take out. California needs these good jobs with health benefits this industry brings and the tax dollars to help save our schools. We have an opportunity to have safer communities if we choose to control, regulate, tax medical cannabis, cannabis for adults. We have millions in tax dollars. Harborside was the #2 tax revenue producer for the city of Oakland. Berkeley Patients Group was the #2 tax provider for the city of Berkeley. This is going to undercut jobs and emergency services. Obama keeps talking about investment in our future, education, investment in our children. President Obama, I ask you to stop lying to our children. Let's protect our children by being honest with them. President Obama, we ask you to please end this federal folly and evolve your policy on medical cannabis. I want to point out, we've got a couple folks that, especially press, is going to want to talk to you right away. Please welcome James Anthony, the Senior Political Strategist for this effort. You can identify where James Anthony is. We've lost him already.
He's out strategizing.
I do, however, know where Mr. Henry Wachowski is, and he is the senior legal counsel for Harborside. Now, as soon as this press conference breaks, the good news is Oaksterdam is still educating.
Yeah.
We have survived. We did it. I should thank Richard Lee for founding my dream. And, we keep it going. So all of these folks are available for interviews, but we do have a class coming back in, and we're intermingled with press. So may I suggest that the press go where it's a little bit cooler and can have more private interviews. I have the first floor opened up for press and for interviews. So if I can ask all of my attendees, as well as the press in the room, to go ahead downstairs. You can take either the stairs or the elevator, and then we'll go ahead and get class started. Thank you so much for your time and attention.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching the live stream. I'm going to stop for now and we'll be back up very, very soon. I have no idea if you can hear this.